Odin saw everything, the past, the future, the threads connecting every fate in the 9 realms, but he wasn't born with that sight. He paid for it. Deep beneath Yggdrasil, the world tree whose roots pierce through every realm, there's a well, not the kind you toss coins into for luck. This one holds something far older, the well of Mímir, and its water doesn't grant wishes, it grants knowing. Mímir wasn't just some guardian. He was a being of primordial wisdom, older than the gods themselves. Some say he was a giant, others think he was something from before creation. He didn't let just anyone drink from his well. When Odin arrived, he didn't come as the Allfather. He came as a seeker. And Mímir looked at him the way you'd look at someone asking to borrow something they can never return. The price wasn't gold. It wasn't servitude. It was flesh. Specifically, an eye. Now here's what makes this story darker than most retellings admit. Odin didn't hesitate. He didn't argue or negotiate. He didn't ask for time to think it over. He just agreed. Immediately. Mímir filled his horn, Gjallarhorn in some versions, with the well's water. Odin drank, and the veil lifted. He saw Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, the fire, the flood, the wolf's jaws closing around the sun. He saw his own death. He saw his son fall. He saw the end of everything he would build. And then he reached up, gripped his right eye, and tore it from his own skull. No ceremony, no hesitation, just the wet sound of sacrifice. Mímir took the eye and dropped it into the well. It sank slowly, still seeing, still aware. It remains there, staring up through the water, watching the roots of the world tree, a permanent reminder of what wisdom costs. But here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. This wasn't Odin's only sacrifice. He hung himself from Yggdrasil for 9 days and nights, pierced by his own spear, Gungnir. He carved runes into his own flesh. He fasted until his body began to shut down. He gave pieces of himself away over and over, not for power in the traditional sense, but for understanding. Most gods want strength. Odin wanted to know. And there's something terrifying about that. Because knowledge, especially the kind Odin sought, doesn't make you happier. It doesn't make you safer. It just makes you aware. Aware of every threat, every betrayal, every inevitable ending. He knew Ragnarok was coming. He knew he'd die in the jaws of Fenrir. He knew his best efforts would fail. And yet he kept preparing, kept gathering warriors in Valhalla, kept making alliances, kept fighting a war he'd already seen himself lose. That's not heroism, that's something else entirely. A refusal to surrender even when defeat is certain. The Norsemen understood this. They didn't worship Odin because he was all-powerful. They worshipped him because he was all-knowing and still chose to fight. So when you see depictions of Odin with that empty socket, shadowed and hollow, remember, it's not a wound, it's a choice. A permanent scar from the day he decided that seeing the truth, no matter how dark, was worth more than comfort. The eye still rests at the bottom of Mímir's well, shining, watching, a piece of God left behind as collateral for the most dangerous transaction in mythology, the trade of sight for sight.
Until next time.